Welcome back to the Your Watercolor Summer Weekly Challenge. Hi, I'm Chris V from OctopusConnection.com, and I'm a former high-end retail management professional turned freelance artist. Last week I talked about my two favorite travel watercolor supplies and why I love them so much. If you missed that video, you can click at the top right of the screen to watch it now and then come back to this video when you're done. Last week I mentioned I would take you outside for some on-the-go demo painting for this week's lesson. Since we've had extreme heat warnings all week long, unfortunately painting outside isn't a safe option, but I really want to show you how I use my travel watercolor painting kit. So I'm going to take you somewhere indoors for some on-location travel painting. Can you guess what this location is based on this image? Is it a spaceship, a museum, a shopping mall, or an interactive art gallery? If you guessed C, a shopping mall, you are correct. Today I'm taking a field trip to a mall in town and it's just way too much fun. So many things to see, so many sights, and so much inspiration. This mall features modern architecture and some really interesting store designs, beautiful summer patterns, and there are some crazy 3D art installations, motivational signage, cozy cafes, and artsy window displays. Any and all of this inspires me to get my paints out and play. The thing is that playing involves experimenting, and not everything will come out the way I want it to, and that's okay. You might be inspired by completely different things than I would, but this lesson will give you some ideas about how to paint effectively on the go. This window design features an artwork meets fashion theme. I was attracted to these colors and textures right away because I've always loved fashion mixed with other types of design, so that's the other thing that caught my eye here. I also love the use of these expressive brushstrokes that gives this display an impressionistic painterly look. For me, painting directly on these glass partitions, as well as creating a full forest painting, is almost as if they did a color and brushstroke study first and then used those to form the forest painting, which is funny because that is exactly how I show students to approach a project in my watercolor membership. As you can see, I've already started a sketch, and it took me about 25 seconds to complete, because it was just a matter of placing things where I wanted them to go and not taking time to do any detailed drawing. Now I'm painting out some quick, colorful strokes. I'm not trying to make this painting look exactly like it does in real life, but I feel like I want to capture my own impression of this and all of these colors and shapes. I think it's because it makes me feel positive and inspired. I'm going to speed this up for you so you don't have to languish over every stroke I'm making, but I'll show you enough that you get the basics of what I'm doing. Notice I've changed some of the colors and I've left out some of the detail because I don't want to get caught up in all the finiteness, and I never want to copy someone else's work. Plus, trying to capture a subject too literally can be draining when you don't have a lot of time. Instead, I want to focus on capturing how this makes me feel and keep the energy high. I think I'll stop here, snap a picture, and do some more detailed pencil or pen work back at the studio later on. Giving myself permission not to have to finish keeps me inspired and in the moment while I'm in a different location. I want to make the most of any painting experience, so I try to really keep my pulse on what I want to do next and pivot when I need to. On to the next project. I'm going to paint a pattern that I thought was pretty and interesting. This tribal print really caught my eye because it features so many different types of shapes and really interesting color combinations. Again, I'm changing it up from the original, so I'm not copying it exactly as I saw it. Tweaking lines, shapes, and colors will take your subject matter and transform it into your own creation. This is still really close to the original, and I would never want to copy anyone's work, but this works great as a quick and fun study that will stay in my sketchbook for reference. This is one way to keep your art looking original and not get lost in the visual crowd as well. That was fun. I think I'll do one more painting though. I'll do this store window, which is so playful and puts me in touch with my playful side too. Again, I've done a quick sketch just to place everything and started painting. I'd like to keep my colors similar, but instead of making this striped display floor saturated and vivid like it was in the image, I want to lighten it up. I don't want the fashion items to get lost and overwhelmed by both of these dark colors at the bottom and bring heaviness to this composition, which will really throw it off and make it look unbalanced. So I'm going to keep this pink and orange more of a pastel version so it blends in with this light aqua wall I've painted. Now I'm going to paint my fashion items and make them look darker so they really pop. That everything's painted, I'm dying to add some accents using this metallic set. I love the fact that there are gold details on the tables and on the bags, so I'm going to drop some of those in now. It looks like my blue is a little too wet and that gold spread out a little bit, so I'm just going to paint that over with some darker color just to mask that. I got a chance to spend a bit more time on this painting than the other two, which was fun, but I've been here a while, so it's time to go. I don't want to forget to take some pictures so I can finish this project at home. I'm back in the studio now, and as I'm looking at these, it's fun to remember how I felt actually being there painting on location. As I'm looking at this image, I remember what it was like to sit in that modern environment and just feel the energy of painting somewhere different. It was quite invigorating, and when I came back to the studio, I brought a piece of that with me. I'm going to keep that in mind as I add details to this first painting. I'm really glad I left the second mannequin out of this composition because I think it would have overwhelmed this small space that I have to work with. And I want these colors to be the main focus anyway. I'm really happy with the painting of this fabric print, so I'm just going to leave that one as it is. This final painting though, I want to go back and refine. I think this warrants a bit more detail to polish it off. And I'm going to add some more details to this feathery texture of the shoe. And I think I will do some outlining so it really makes these shapes stand out from the background. Most of the time I love to paint quickly and loosely, but every once in a while I like to zoom in and capture details that really set an element apart from the rest. Well, that was a good bit of fun. Let's do a recap of some of the guidelines we talked about. Number 1, please remember that in this process, try not to put pressure on yourself for all your artwork to be good, especially when you're away from the known territory of your studio space. That's just too much pressure, honestly. Instead, focus on things like learning how to make more effective sketches, create better brush strokes, add more contrast, and improve color mixing skills. So you're going for improvement, not perfection. 3, continue discovering your own unique style, which is an ongoing work in process. And you can do that by taking note of your favorite colors, your favorite subject matters to paint, and other discerning clues. These concepts are great basic guidelines to follow for any successful project, travel painting or not. You'll always create better when you're more relaxed and focused on challenging yourself rather than pushing yourself. In fact, this is exactly what I teach in my watercolor membership, Mastering the Waters. And we do a different type of project every single month, starting with a sketch that I walk you through. Week 2, we mix 6 to 8 colors to build your color theory skills. Week 3, we practice the brush strokes you'll need to create any visual effects we would need for the finished project. And in week 4, we put it all together during our live painting session where I show you how to complete the project step by step and where you can ask me your questions along the way. It's fun and easy when you follow these steps, and you can learn how to paint just about anything while improving faster than you can imagine. I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me on some exploration out in the world. If you haven't already, I hope you'll join us in the Your Watercolor Summer Weekly Challenge to get more video lessons, helpful PDFs, weekly updates in your inbox, a community to share your work, and a challenge hub, all for free. Just like this video, subscribe to this channel, tap the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos in the series. Then check the link in the description below to join. If you missed last week's video, you can tap here to watch it. And if you want to start from lesson 1, you can find that on the screen now. I'll see you back here next week for lesson 5.